Oh, hello.
Hello
Welcome.
to Wednesday.
Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Art Jam. Hello. Hello. Welcome from Los Angeles. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be making some stuff today.
Yeah. Well, we're continuing to
We're
work on
continuing
something.
to.
I think we're both
Do you,
working on stuff from the past.
yeah, from past streams.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you up first because I see yours. What is. Oh, you looks like you're sculpting out those like embankments.
Yeah. So I think I still have been doing other things, and so
Mm-hmm.
figured I'd start texturing and sculpting this dude. So because I ended up spending some time playing with
Mm-hmm.
ray tracing, so I finally
Oh,
have
cool.
ray tracing on in the scene, which is cool.
Did you
And
notice like a big improvement right away? The different? Like, tell me, like, how was that?
Uh, yeah, I mean, you get ray trace shadows, and so
Mm-hmm.
obviously those look a million times better because obviously if you just look at the shadow of the dude,
Mm-hmm.
it's got
Yeah.
soft ray trace soft shadows. I still have it, so it's like only a little bit soft over there, and but just the fact that it's razor sharp, perfect contact, is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the water, and so the fact that I've got you know ray trace reflections of the sky and it's calculating the fog that's in there. That's all pretty awesome.
Is that just a moving texture?
Yeah.
Nice. Looks cool.
Yeah, I put discovered in Unreal you have to use a panner node. So you put
Okay.
the panner into your texture coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of having to like animate, the U offset like you would in Maya, it's done that way.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's awesome because it's just don't have to deal with reflection capture and all that kind of stuff. There's definitely limitations I've been learning about over the last couple nights of playing with ray tracing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like translucency, so like translucency, if you enable, like right now I've got, if I go to the post process volume and I go to rendering features and I go to translucency, like I don't have ray tracing on for translucency, and if I turn it on, see how the particles went away?
Oh, weird.
Because the sprites are using translucency material and that's not
Mm.
supported. And so basically anything, and also they're cascade particles, and cascade particles aren't supported by ray tracing.
Oh, only Niagara particles.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
translucency materials, like if I wanted to make this water transparent so we could see into it,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is supported, but it doesn't reflect atmospheric fog.
Oh, weird. So it doesn't always look the same.
So, well, like we can see in here that, like, if you look at the reflection, like here, that like the mountain that's reflected in the water is reflecting the fog that's on that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tried to make the water transparent, that wasn't working. So there's a CVAR, but Anton and I were playing with it, and the CVAR didn't seem to work. And we got the hot fix that came out in 427.1, and that didn't do it. So.
Hmm.
But either way, and then also volumetric fog isn't supported by ray tracing. So like it's supported in that it'll appear in the scene, but like the cast shadows inside the volume are
Mm-hmm.
not supported by ray trace. So if you have ray trace shadows on your light, which I do, then you're not going to get cast shadows in the volume. So it's been interesting just to learn, like the, what are the limitations and stuff.
Yeah, like what's working, what can work, what can't work, kind of a thing.
Um, but it's just neat to have reflections in real time that are
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
actually ray traced.
Like pretty good.
So I mean, I guess Keyshot is kind of like that, but it's not as real time
It's not
as
the
this is.
same though. Yeah. Yes.
And so yeah, so I think gonna just sculpt a couple more things, and then
Cool.
I was gonna maybe play with lighting because I've got like this other lighting set up and
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit moodier. And I was gonna maybe, not sure yet what the final lighting is gonna be in this scene.
I like that one a lot. That one's cool.
So yeah, it's definitely this is, I just started playing, because back over the summer I was using primarily ultra dynamic sky just out of not having time.
Yeah.
And so I finally started like figuring out like just how to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty straightforward. just like making the atmosphere and everything, just from scratch is actually surprisingly not that difficult. Although the clouds in the ultra dynamic sky are way simpler, like all the sliders it gives you to control how the clouds look.
Right. It's more like drag and drop as far as like spin it around, change the thing here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
But yeah, I like this lighting. It looks definitely super moody.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Hello, people. Watson Fed GPU. I'm using a 2080 Ti on this Notovitz here. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Italy. Barack, what's up? So yeah, so I've been playing with the scene some more. So it's like, I think now that I know that Cascade's not supported by, ray tracing, that there's a plugin, I guess, that'll convert Cascade particles to Niagara.
Oh, okay.
That's on Marketplace. That's something I need to try. And so many things to try. And obviously, just been busy with the last week and a half with school reopening.
Yeah, the campus is open.
I know, it's so awesome.
So classes started on Monday.
Classes started, and we've got a ton of new students, and obviously all the students who started Gnomon during COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of them on campus for the first time. So there's all these tours going on yesterday, which was awesome to see, where, it's both new and current students seeing the campus, and really, really awesome. It's just so crazy to be back.
Yeah.
And everybody just, I don't know, everybody's just lots of smiles and laughing and just like lots of chit chat, which I missed so much. Just like hanging out outside and just chatting to people about like whatever.
Yeah.
Like that, I just feel like I really missed that. And so it's just awesome to just be outside the gallery and just talking to Max and Anton and meeting students. And so, yeah, it's too bad you missed it because of the flu.
I know, yeah. You can kind of hear it in my voice. I have it still a tad, but I bring a little bit. My family got it pretty bad, so haven't been able to go. It's interesting, like this time in the world. Like I was texting you about it, but you used to show up somewhere where, like, with what my voice sounds like now, or like a little bit of a sniffle, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's normal." And now people are like, "Nope, no, like, not don't come over here. It's a bad time to walk around with any kind of like a cold."
Yeah, I mean, it's weird how since COVID, like I just haven't been sick at all, just because of being at home and wearing masks. So like I haven't caught a cold. It's probably the longest I've gone without just catching a little cold.
Yeah, same.
So
we were calculating it, like the last time we had one was December of 2019.
That's weird.
That's so long ago. Yeah,
but hopefully you can get to campus soon.
Yeah.
Your classes are Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday in the stage.
Okay.
I should be fine by Monday and Tuesday. So, yeah, looking forward to that a lot, though. Been seeing a lot of the students that I, had in overview or, almost a year ago in person, or over, that's like, 2 years ago almost in person, post on Instagram, and everybody, like you were saying, seems super excited.
For sure.
Very happy.
And then yesterday was the In-N-Out truck, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I hadn't had an In-N-Out burger in a really, really long time. So there was a whole debate about the French fries.
Oh, really?
They didn't have fries on the truck.
Oh,
but
okay.
because I guess the oil thing with trucks, I don't know, is what they said.
Well, fair. Okay.
So I was kind of like, well, I don't really care. Their fries suck. And then, of course, it was like a 50-50 split between people who love their fries and people who really don't.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I actually like their fries quite a bit. All right. And I also like, how do you feel about McDonald's fries?
They're amazing.
Okay, because I feel like they're somewhat similar, but I'm assuming, considering you think that one you like and one you don't.
I think you have COVID. I think you've lost your sense of taste.
I like them both. I think that they remind me of the same type of fry
You
as compared to like a Burger
cannot
King fry
have
or
more
a
different
Wendy's
French fries.
fry. Their fries, in fact, suck, says Josh Fryer from YouTube. I like them, but I always have to get a little bit of extra spread. I don't feel like I can eat them just straight, so I don't know. Maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, which I didn't realize, I guess with In-N-Out you can order them more crispy, because that's always my thing, is they just tend to be like, just feel like they're just stuffed with air, like they just don't have much taste, and I don't know, I just always felt they were a little blah, but I guess you can actually ask for like extra crispy, and then I probably would like them a lot more.
Do you like a crispy fry or a
Yes.
soggy fry?
Crispy, which is why I like McDonald's, because they're always like super crispy.
See, but I like the soggy fry, and sometimes you get the McDonald's fry that like you just hold up and it's just like you can bend it in half without doing anything, and that's like my favorite fry.
No, see, I'm the opposite. My favorite fry is like the tiny little like dark brown nugget at the bottom that's crunchy like a chip.
A little crumb, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
Those are good.
All right, well
Not
then
as
there
good
you
as the
go.
soggy fries, but now we know why. Maybe that has to do something with it, the crispiness.
Yeah, soggy fries I'm down with if it's like chili fries,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, or poutine.
Mm-hmm. Do their fries decompose? That must be from Super Size Me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I eat McDonald's. I couldn't tell you the last time I had McDonald's, but as a question which was posed to me,
Do you like McDonald's? Yeah.
then I do like their fries, but
Right.
But no, my mom used to make French fries, and they're so good. But you just need to have a huge vat of oil. So her homemade fries were my favorites. Yeah, I know, but I haven't had anything air fried. Doesn't sound like it's really fried. In my mind, frying means oil is involved.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Good evening, Eduardo from the UK. Marcelo, hello. Said Gnomon some years ago during an event with Pixelogic. Cool. Yeah, the ZBrush Summit's coming up.
Yeah, really soon.
Unfortunately, online.
Yeah.
But I saw Neville's one of the speakers.
That's cool.
With his very dapper photo of him in a suit. And Eric Keller, of course.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it seems like it's a smaller lineup than usual.
Uh-huh.
What am I doing? I need to divide this thing.
I'm going to get this into Keyshot in a minute.
You can switch over to your screen if you want. Show what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I'm sculpting on a character / scene I worked on a while ago on stream. So
yeah, that
one's
awesome.
I think I'm just going to Keyshot. I've been doing that sort of vertical composition. That's what I did last time. So I'm going to try to do a quick render and then just spend some time painting over it. So we'll see how far we can get. So I'm kind of just sticking back and trying to like imagine that I won't be able to see any more detail than what's here.
When you made that on the stream, did that also have that character?
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made her on stream as well.
Yeah.
I
I remember now that I saw her close up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Still very low res, but maybe put a little detail in here real quick. Can paint some of it in, but this was, I think, before the cloth brushes were introduced. It's actually a good idea to just try some of that.
Played with those a lot?
A little bit. They're actually really great. I like the cloth pull brush quite a bit and the cloth nudge brush, because what you can kind of do is it just treats it like cloth, but like if this is the object, I'll turn it so it's a different color so it's a little easier to see. But you just pull it and it has like its own sort of simulation built into it, which is great. So
Yeah, that's neat.
and then like if you do like a more extreme version, you can like crunch it.
Yeah, I played with it for a sec when it came out. Just the fact that it has like the run simulation and you can actually see it fall over geometry. That's pretty amazing that that's in ZBrush now, but
Yeah, totally.
I just haven't used it much, but super cool. So yeah, I'm curious what new stuff they're going to show on the summit. It's only in a couple weeks, or next week, I think.
Yeah, they always have cool stuff. It's interesting to see, like, I feel like every time that they're doing a new summit, they have some thing up their sleeve, which is always awesome to find out what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Ofair or Joseph and Paul just, use the summit as the opportunity to give us sneak peeks. But often it's a surprise because I would never have thought that like cloth dynamics would come into ZBrush.
Exactly. Just do a quick thing here. Nudge. Oh.
When was the last time you played with Unreal?
Not super recently. I was tried that Unreal 5 stuff, and then I've just kind of been more like theory of I wanted to experiment trying doing something with a kit and using it as like as a renderer. I told you, and said it on stream, like I like the idea of what Marmoset has as being able to do sort of like the turntable. So I kind of wanted for some sort of a scene to like a character in an environment that's just like a turntable, but using Unreal as like the rendering engine versus what I would probably use before, which would have been like Keyshot or Marmoset.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of like what the best way to do that would be, whether it's making, bringing in kit bash stuff, whether it's, to make the environment itself. So I don't know, because I want to change up my process right now, because right now I use a lot of Keyshot and I use a lot of ZBrush and I use a lot of Photoshop, and so I'm wanting to introduce a new tool. And I think that there's potential, and I think we've seen it on stream before with people asking, like, can Unreal be used for like character concept? Because it's clearly can be great for environment concept, but characters is a little different, because you want like what Keyshot has, which is like a lot of drag and drop stuff.
Yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of effort would need to be put in like a pipeline, and like like having all your ducks in a row. Maybe even like having like a Unreal project that's already kind of set up with certain things in it, materials, whatever.
Exactly.
For that usage, because kind of like I've done with Redshift and Maya, where like I've got all my shelves set up, and I've got like shelves that automatically create an empty Redshift scene that already has the sky set up, or like taking the time to do that with Unreal, because the thing is that the back and forth, since there's no GOZ, like using Keyshot's so easy with ZBrush and GoZ makes it so easy to send stuff over to Maya.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing that I see as like a little bit of a thing that slows things down.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's like, what would be the way to do that? It's probably just making a scene, right? And spending the time kind of composing it like you were saying you've done with Redshift and Maya, but
yeah. But you have to end up doing a bunch of R&D because that's, like Aaron Sims has done a bunch on the
mm-hmm.
character creature side and has definitely posted really cool things, over the last, year and a half on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems like he gave himself like a bunch of time to do R&D and just figure
Yeah.
things out and come up with workflows because so many things are different than Maya. So like just something like I want to make the water move by moving it in U or V.
Yeah.
Where I know how to do that in Maya, but then like it's not obvious that I would have to create a node called the panner node,
Mm-hmm.
that has to plug into the text coordinate node. That it's just like it's not that it's hard, but it's just you got to dedicate time to figuring out how the pipeline is different. So
Mm-hmm.
things like a skin shader in Unreal, like I haven't tried that yet, but I bet you there's a lot more involved than doing it with Arnold or Redshift.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the there's certain things that just seem to take longer
Mm-hmm.
because not everything is brute force like it is with Keyshot and Redshift.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also want to experiment more with 5. And just wondering if it's worth, I don't know, obviously you could make a scene in 4 and then push it into 5.
Yeah, which is what I'm assuming that I'll eventually do with this scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely do love the idea of being able to just throw 8K maps on everything with millions of polys, but it's so weird that like displacement maps are deprecated.
Mm-hmm. Just the idea of that is a little odd.
Yeah, for sure, because like, Mixer is a big part of Mixer is creating displacement maps.
Yeah, even being
right?
like that's one of the features to toggle it on and off.
Yeah, so all of that whole library of stuff that's in Bridge all have really nice displacement maps. They give you really nice results. So like if you can't use that with Nanite, you can only use heavy geometry. Then like how do you convert your displacements that you're designing in Mixer into Geo?
Mm-hmm.
Because Mixer doesn't have a tool to bake
To do that,
displacements into geometry. And like that would mean you'd have to basically send that geo with the displacement from Mixer into ZBrush so that you could bake that in. But then that's a lot of steps that'll slow it down as opposed to Mixer just being able to do it. So very curious of like, Mixer is going to be changed to support Nanite and a Nanite export option that bakes in displacements. I don't know. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of, yeah, I'm like, I just don't know how, there's a lot of moving pieces in there. I love the idea of just exporting high-res stuff. I also know it's going to take forever too, though. Like that's part of the appeal of, a Keyshot or something like that is I just now hit render and all of a sudden everything's in Keyshot. And it's that easy. Not exporting several, millions of polygons into super high-res OBJs and then importing them and waiting for the process time to, so there's some weirdness there that I'm not 100%, to be honest, sure of how that's going to work. So
really just need to block time. Well, hopefully soon we have a bunch of new Unreal classes for VFX side of things, and we can take them.
I think there might be a
something
conspiracy.
I've done. Conspiracy with what?
Middle mouse buttons, because I don't understand how my middle mouse button can break like the same day yours does.
That's pretty weird. It almost sounds like there was like a Windows update.
It does, yeah.
Some
Middle
hacker
mouse
somewhere is like,
buttons.
I'm going to make all the middle mouse buttons in the world stop working.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah, because like I was using Mixer when it happened, and then I started tripping out of just like, Mixer supports middle mouse button to pan, right? Like I thought it was
Yeah, you're
me
like, what
for
the
a
hell?
second. Like, am I
Yeah.
like tripping? Because like going between all these programs with different navigation, all of a sudden I was like, you know, because ZBrush you don't need it, so like I wasn't noticing in ZBrush.
Right.
Anyway, and then it was like went over to Maya. I'm like, oh, it's the mouse. But luckily, I have so many mice in the closet.
I just grab one. Like, and who's it going to be today? For some reason, I'm envisioning the green men from Toy Story.
The aliens?
Yeah, it's like a bucket of mice figuring out who's going to be picked. It's just, oh, that's why.
We've got quiet people in chat today. How are people doing out there?
It's because we're not talking about fries anymore.
Yeah.
Looks like, imagine the world with same navigation through all the software.
Seriously, I mean, it's so dumb. Like, can people just agree on something as simple as that? It's like, why do people always feel the need to reinvent that kind of stuff? Although I have to say that Unreal I got used to real fast because I really love flying around with their WASD controls.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. But navigating in ZBrush is so retarded. I'm sorry, but like that is definitely my biggest gripe in ZBrush is that it's just like, why can't you just be like Maya? You know, same with the camera. You know, like I just
not
wish
having a camera.
I just wish the camera in ZBrush just wasn't such crap.
Yeah, it's
which it doesn't matter so much when you're like just modeling like a thing you can spin around all the time, like a character or a head. But for something like this, it's kind of a pain. You know, because it's like if I go down, like all this geo blocks what I'm seeing because it's not a true 3D camera. So like that 3D camera can't really be in front of those rocks, right?
Right.
So you're constantly having to like hide stuff to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Sarkona just said at least they fixed the move tool. You mean adding the gizmo? Thank God for that, dude.
I like the action line.
Oh God, I hated the action line. Really, you liked it? See, this gets back to French fries.
I see it over the gizmo almost all the time. It'd be blipping, but
really?
yeah, I still use it. Yeah.
What did your parents do to you?
I like the navigation in general. I think is good. I agree about the 3D camera. I just think it's so intuitive with a pen.
I mean, it works for sure. I'm used to it. You know, it's like it's not like it's just if I'm jumping between programs a bunch, that's when like every time I'll jump back to Maya, I'm like, oh, what a relief. It just feels like so good. Nice for a moment to just be like, I can tumble normally.
That makes sense.
But yeah, the action line is fine for certain
Camera
things.
Sure, yeah. I use the solo mode a lot for the thing you're talking about is hiding stuff and unhiding stuff, just so you can isolate your object, which is basically just isolates the thing with a toggle.
Sorry, I got distracted by people talking about clicking to join a raid. Somebody in the wrong channel?
No, there's a raid. Maybe it's a Twitch raid. Maya has the best UI, says somebody. Wish all they would adopt it. Adobe is hopeless. They have different hotkeys in their packages. That's a different thing. I think when like your different packages have different hotkeys, that just feels so weird to me. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I remember when I was on the beta for, I think ZBrush, I can't remember, it was ZBrush 3, where they were adding subtools. And I forget what it was. Like the icon for visibility of a subtool was something non-intuitive, something not an eye. And I remember being like, just make it an eye, like Photoshop, you know? And like the reaction was kind of like, yeah, but that's what it's like in Photoshop. It's like, that's the point. Like, we all know that. So
we
like,
want that.
Like make it, ZBrush is already weird for a lot of people to learn. Like, and they made it an eye. Amazing.
Like,
Although,
wait,
you know, I guess, you know, when Photoshop has something, I guess you don't want to get, you know, you got to check to make sure Adobe's not going to sue you because they patented the idea of an eye as a visibility icon.
It's true.
You know, because I wouldn't put it past a big company like them to, I don't know, I'd be worried of such things if I was a software company. How long do you think a graduate from Gnomon would take to pay off their student loans after landing a job in the VFX industry? We have data on that, and I forget what the percentage is, but a very high percentage of our graduates actually pay off their loan in, I believe it was less than 5 years, meaning they pay it off really early, because you have a lot longer than that to pay off your loan, which was a really cool stat that we got a while back. And so obviously it's impossible to give a definitive answer to that question because it depends on how much of a loan you got. But ultimately, you know, Gnomon is career oriented, right? Like the reason we exist is to get people a job. You know, this Gnomon's not a college where you go to just, you know, find yourself. I mean, it's like you want to work in the industry, that's why you go to Gnomon. And our placement rate is really, really high because Gnomon's really hard to get into. So because of that, you know, our grads get jobs at studios doing what they studied at Gnomon. And those jobs, luckily, are generally, especially after a couple of years out, once you're no longer a junior, the salaries are decent. And so because of that, people are able to afford to pay off their loan. So Gnomon is, I'm not going to say Gnomon's not expensive, it is. And obviously that's, you know, a decision that, you know, there's a lot of different factors that go in to people deciding if they can afford to go to a school like Gnomon and want to deal with student loans. But yeah, that's, I mean, I don't have a lot more data than that. So basically, a lot of students pay them off in 5 years. While some other colleges or places, it might be, you know, a lot longer. That's not to say all grads, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of grads who choose not to pay off their loans early or, you know, have all sorts of reasons that would keep them from being able to if you have a much larger loan. But the main thing I would say to that whole point is, you know, we want to make sure that anybody that goes to Gnomon is at Gnomon for the right reasons, knows that this is the industry for them, that there's nothing they'd rather do, that that your passion is sitting in front of a computer and making art, and that's what you do for fun, and that's what you'd love to be paid to do, and so that you ultimately are able to start a rewarding career, and that ultimately in time you'll feel that going to school and taking out the loan was a good investment in yourself. And I think really the main criteria for whether it is placement. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think the stat, from what I remember, is like we're in the top 10% of people that pay back, like of schools that have
we have an
have the loans
incredibly
paid
low.
back.
Our default rate is practically zero, meaning that our grads pay back their loans. There have been some schools whose default rates have been really, really high, meaning a lot of the grads don't pay back. A lot of those predatory schools, that a lot of them went under in the last few years, which is good. When someone finishes a degree at Gnomon, are they considered juniors or seniors? Oh, they're juniors for sure.
Juniors, yeah.
Very good juniors, but they're juniors nonetheless.
Yeah.
This is an industry where like you just don't stop learning. So even after, a couple years of intense study at Gnomon, that's still only, 2 to 4 years compared to the 20 years that a senior might have. You've got somebody, we've got grads now who graduated almost 25 years ago who are leads and supervisors and art directors and stuff like that. And, that's over 20 years of experience. Random Gaming is asking about Houdini 19. I have not seen.
I haven't seen it.
That. Can you share a link?
Yeah, link would be good.
Yeah, I've mostly been watching Unreal videos. Yeah, they released some videos on that medieval village that Quixel did.
Oh, really?
Yesterday, yeah.
That's cool. What kind of stuff?
It's like 4 or 5 videos, technical stuff on the medieval village. So from like optimizations, lighting, so just more in depth than the ones that they released when they made it. And it's from Quixel, so it's on Quixel's YouTube page, not Epic's. But yeah, a lot of really cool stuff.
That's cool.
I only watched the first couple, so I'll watch the other ones tonight.
Apparently there's a HDRI of the stage inside of Keyshot.
Yeah, I know. Griffin was playing with Keyshot the other day, and I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, look at that. That's Gnomon stage in Keyshot as part of the software. So, yeah, ZBrush has that too, but it's not labeled as Gnomon. Like if you go into the into Lightbox and you go to alphas, the alphas that are in there actually are from Gnomon, but it just doesn't say that. They're from the Aaron Sims alpha pack that he made for us years ago.
I remember that a lot. That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was when he was still at Stan Winston's when he made those. That was a long time ago. Random Gaming. Will real-time rendering be like the gold standard in the future? Well, no. I mean, it depends how you define gold standard. If gold standard means the most impressive rendering that has the most complexity, that'll always be offline, kind of by definition, because real time is always going to have limitations compared to what you could do offline, you know.
Hmm.
But what we can do in real time is going to get better and better and better and better and better. But you know, if you need to render something that's got, you know, billions of models with really complex shaders, you know, and everything is, you know, needs heavy duty GI settings with, you know, armies that battling each other like in Lord of the Rings, and like those kinds of things are not really anytime soon going to be able to be rendered in real time at the fidelity that they are offline. That's not to say it won't be possible in like 10 years,
Hmm.
but you know, so I think it depends on, like, you know, what you're interested in. But real-time rendering, and just the fact that real-time ray tracing is even a thing, like just the fact that I
Yeah.
can like jump back to my Unreal scene, and you know, just the fact that this is real time
Hmm.
is cuckoo. You know, that I've got real time reflections and real time on the water, like that is not something that even 3 years ago you could do. So because even things like Redshift were faster, but it still took them time to sample and keyshot.
Yeah, the speed at which it's like kind of just become normal-ish to have real-time like feedback on that is crazy. Just like how quick. I mean, it's great. I love it.
But there's still a lot of limitations. Like if I wanted to bring all of my like hero trees in here with translucency in the leaves and wind, where each tree is, you know,
Hmm.
100,000 to 300,000 polygons, there's an issue there. So I wish I could, you know, do that. So you have to kind of be clever about how to decide what will and will not be real time. Alright, so back to sculpting this piece right here. So if anybody's wondering what I'm sculpting, it's that highlighted chunk. It has a temp texture on it.
Deleted my camera. It's frustrating.
There's no, you can't undo that?
I didn't realize it deleted it in time.
Oh. Oh.
So I'm like, wait, what? Oh, wait, why? Why? Because I brought in another piece, and I think that when I did that, it did like the GoZ like overwrite of the file or whatever, and I think that killed the thing.
Ah. Josh has asked if we can share links to our completed Unreal Fellowship pieces.
Sure.
For sure. I think, is Adam with us today?
I don't know. I didn't see any comments from Adam. I can post mine in a sec. I can post yours.
So we can play them if people want to see them.
Oh yeah, we can do that too.
So, because we have them in
Did that-
here, like preloaded.
Yeah.
If you that's maybe.
We'll do that in like 5-10 minutes, I guess. We can do it at like a break or something.
They're on Vimeo. They're on
Mm-hmm.
Epic's on the Unreal Vimeo page, but they're in collections because each fellowship is like a collection.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little funny to find. But for mine, I won't have it on my website. If you just go to alexalvarez.com.
Here, I'll post them. I'll post the links to the Vimeo pages right now. And then it should go to everybody.
But
I think that was his. Yeah.
But yeah, for the fellowship, I used, I did some ZBrush stuff for my environment, but I used a lot of Megascan stuff too. And so really wanted to just experiment with just making something mostly from scratch. And so that's kind of this project that I'm doing now is really just an excuse to experiment with like, okay, if I do everything myself, don't use Megascans, models, so I can just get comfortable with the whole pipeline of that. And so fellowship seems like forever ago.
It does. It really, I mean, for me, it was only like a month and a half ago. But it still feels like it was a very long time ago.
Am I making a map? Well, I'm making, this little environment in Unreal, just for fun, really. So
I like that lighting a lot. Just that
that's,
sun, kind of going through the fog is cool. Assume it's
they've
the
got
sun.
this like Raleigh scattering for the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates some really, really cool effects.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice, I mean, you said with the ray tracing that the shadows are a lot better. Is that the only lighting source you have? Did the lighting from the
Yeah,
sun
I mean,
get better? Yeah.
there's just the directional light, and then the directional light
Mm-hmm.
has ray trace shadows on it, and then there's 2 point lights in here, and then the point lights have ray trace shadows as well.
Right. Cool.
And then, but this is all not set dressed yet. So like curious, like once I start bringing all the plants and little rocks, because like all of the ground in here is going to end up getting populated with like plants and debris and rocks, and I'm curious if ray tracing will still work once
Mm-hmm.
I've got like thousands of instances in here. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'm making this little environment really just as an experiment. But I'm going to build the whole thing out. So eventually I want to be able to, like there's this hallway that I'm cruising down right here, which will go outside to something. I think it's probably going to go outside to an ocean.
Cool.
And then I want to do sound and just like make like a little level that we can kind of cruise around. I'll have to make all the collisions for it because obviously when you import stuff, the default collisions are pretty messy. So I'll have to learn about good ways about that. So it's just a big exercise in learning is what this is, I'd say.
Nice.
Yeah. But, oops.
I'm about to kick off a render, so we'll see how this goes on screen, on stream.
Why did my ZBrush move to a different monitor? Stay here. Paused.
Yeah. It's rendering.
Ah.
Exciting. Just waiting for the render is now black on the other screen here.
Get my screen off of there.
Get out of there, yeah. Also trying to load Photoshop and render and all at the same time. We'll see if the computer has any issues with that.
And yesterday I went to the office and sat at my computer there and hadn't been at that computer in so long. So it was like at first I'm like, all right, I need to get all my stuff on there. And it's just like 18 months of just like, the Unreal directory and the Maya directory and the ZBrush directory and just my Unreal directory is like 600 gigs. So just like getting everything copied on there.
Yeah.
And then just being like, oh crap, this is like a Titan X card in here. So it doesn't have RTX.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, no ray tracing on that computer. And then tried to install Mixer, and then like Mixer wasn't working. And then Ricardo tried to figure it out, and he thinks it's because it's an older version of Windows that maybe he's having a conflict. So he had to wipe my computer today, like a full wipe.
Oof.
To reinstall Windows. He's hoping that'll get Mixer to work.
Right.
So yeah, I ended up working from home today just because I was like, well, if I can't use Mixer, I'm still texturing stuff. So hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, it was funny just to be like Dr. Ricardo for a while, and I guess like that's just happening like across the board with staff and students and everybody just getting back to campus and back to their computers and back to workstations, and students, getting used to, all right, so how do you work off the Z drive, and what's Titan Surf, and where's the repository, and
all that
usually
stuff.
it's just the new students having to learn that in week one. Now it's like,
it's everybody.
A good chunk of the student body. Yeah. So everybody's slammed. I mean, Anthony and Ricardo and all the engineers have been amazing. Talked to him a bit yesterday about the new lounge we're going to do on the third floor.
Cool.
So we're obviously they need some time before they move out of there, but hopefully in a few weeks we'll get that done.
That'll be fun.
Students will have a new lounge.
Yeah, that'll be great. I always like that space.
It's an awesome space, yeah. So I think we're going to allow PC gaming in there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be a TV with probably a PlayStation and an Apple TV. And then a big table and board games. And it's just going to be a big place to hang out.
That'd be awesome.
Where noise is allowed. Meaning people can play games and scream.
Where people are trying to be super quiet.
It's not a quiet space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the library. Yeah. So if there's any Gnomon students watching, you just heard that here first.
Good day to you from Twitch. Hello, hello there. Hope you're all doing well.
Have you saved?
Render.
I
have,
saved.
yeah.
I'm going to save right now.
You should. It's looking great, though.
Yeah,
right?
it's
the detail is going to add a ton to that section.
Yeah, and then once it's got some layered materials, this one, because of the size of it and the fact that the camera is going to be so close to it, is going to be the first mesh in here that I'm going to need to do, probably the blend materials.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had to do it yet, but this one I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
But I think if I can just use the one that's in the Megascans plugin that just allows you to have 3 materials, 3 materials should be enough to get this to...
It should be fine.
Do what I want.
Because you can pipe in whatever you want the main material to be. Like you could texture it 3 times and then just...
That's what I'll do. Is that
yeah.
My idea is that in Mixer I'll have basically like 3 groups. Each group has its own mask, and each group is really just using tiling.
Mm-hmm.
So I can pre-visit in Mixer and then just know, okay, this one needs to be repeated 10 times. This one needs to be repeated 20 times. This one, and then each one will have its own mask.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing is, the Megascans plugin is using, I think, vertex painting. So. Either I'm going to have to recreate it with vertex painting, or do I export a mask from Mixer? I don't know. Stuff to learn.
Yeah.
Adam just commented, that sounds amazing. Yeah, the lounge is cool. It means, when I did the library, I had an excuse to, go on eBay and find a lot of really cool things for the shelves. So for the lounge, I guess I'm going to get to buy a bunch of board games, and so for that, I think we'll ask students what they want as well.
They say, but how will you keep the staff from running game tournaments in there as well?
I hope they do.
My render's at 82%. This is why people like real time right now, what I'm experiencing. Just sitting and waiting.
Like I remember back, when we started doing Art Jam, and I was doing some stuff with Redshift, and people, I was talking about rendering. I think Alex Nice was like, "What is rendering?"
Yeah.
Like, all right, Mr. GPU.
The stuff he posted from Venom 2 is pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. Awesome. Can't believe he has twins now.
Pause. Good enough to start a paint over from, I think. For another hour, I guess. We'll see what we can make out of this.
No, it's 5 o'clock already. Weird. I mean, all the lounges at Gnomon are open to, everybody, meaning staff or students. So whether it's the vending machine lounge or one outside Lab 1 or so, there's obviously times when students are all in class and the lounge might be pretty chill. So it actually might end up being a good place for us to do D&D.
Yeah, that's true.
So, because I'm going to get a big table for in there, like a big long, kind of like the one that's in the second floor conference room.
Conference room, yep. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because setting up that table in my office is
Yeah,
not really ideal, and it's not actually comfortable.
Yeah, kind of cramped. Not with 6, 7 people in there, it's cramped.
Yeah.
I think I gotta close Keyshot. I'm trying to do all these at once. Keyshot, you've done good. I'm gonna save you, and then I'm gonna close you. Good job.
Are you going to be at Gnomon on Friday for the assembly?
I'm hoping to.
Huh.
It just depends on how I'm feeling. I feel fine. It's just voice at this point, really, I think.
Yeah. I think Friday is tacos.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So that obviously sounds awesome to me.
I'm excited for that. I'd like to be. Have either of us played Metroid Dread yet? If so, what do you think? I have not played Metroid Dread yet. I seen all the reviews and stuff and excited for the Metroid series, but nothing. I haven't got a chance to be hands on with it yet. A lot of stuff has come out recently. It feels like, whether it's just shows or games. Started playing Hearthstone Mercenaries, which is a new game mode they have from Blizzard. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like a nice, short little roguelike sort of game. And then I started watching Squid Game. Actually, we finished Squid Game.
I need to watch that since everybody's watching it.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where you're like, I guess I should watch what everybody else watched.
I know Griffin last week was just like, have you seen Squid Game? I was like, no, not yet. He's like, what? I'm like, dude, it came out 4 days ago.
He's like, how have you not seen this that just came out?
Yeah, it's weird. It just seems like, I feel like it just came out of nowhere.
It did. It totally did. But yeah, I do want to play Metroid Dread. Still trying to Alamo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I called them and they said that they
How far
update
out
their
are you
website.
having to look?
Right now they just don't have them posted on the website. So they said that they would either update their website, I'm giving everybody the secret, but either Tuesday night, which was obviously last night at midnight, up at midnight, seeing if I can get tickets.
Cool. Did you see
Yes,
that
26th.
Did you see that Timothy Chalamet is now going to be
Wonka.
Wonka?
Yeah.
So weird. Like, come on. Why can't we just have new things?
Timothy Chalamet, I guess.
Weird.
He's in like everything now. Obviously Dune, but he just... You're digging it. If you love Super Metroid, you'll dig it. Super Metroid is the best, though. That's the best one. Obviously. Prime, though. I always liked Prime, but it wasn't one of my favorite series. Just didn't have quite the exploration charm that the others did to me. Yeah, but I feel like there's just so much stuff coming out. Like, stuff that's coming out and is get up again. I just finished watching What If.
We watched a couple of those. We
That the
watched
other day.
the zombie one and the Doctor Strange one.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange one was cool.
One.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
definitely looked really cool. It was very pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, they're smart. They do a cool thing where they're just kind of like consistently like building. I think that's what Marvel's very good at. It's just like always everything seems to roll into just the way that they're going from, you know, the concept of the multiverse, and that now there's multiverses, and like everything is tying into that. I think is really fascinating. Just like as a way that they're continuously building. Is there a certain level of detail you look for when you're sculpting that kind of stuff? Or is it a lot of it going to be... Because I see it like it looks like there's a lot of detail under the ridge.
But that'll all disappear. It's really because this is going to be Z-remeshed.
Mm-hmm.
And so once it's Z-remeshed, you know, it just is going to capture the overall shapes. And and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Why do you do that sometimes? Sometimes my camera bugs out. So it's really more about the overall shapes. So any high frequency detail,
Or like zip.
yeah, it's zipped away. I don't know if it's my hand on the tablet. That's what it is. It's my hand on the tablet.
Oh, do you have
It's probably a setting
touch
for the
on?
tablet to like disable touch.
It should be the top button, whatever. If it's this 4 on top and 4 on the bottom, for me
Oh,
it's
there
the
you go.
top one.
That's it. That's it. 10 points for Gryffindor.
Hey,
Assuming that would be your
thank you.
house.
Yeah,
You're Hufflepuff? Okay. 10 points for
yeah, I'm a
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
It's funny how you just like put up with things until somebody's like, why are you putting up with that?
Yeah, what are you doing
Push
that
this
for?
button. I'm like,
Okay.
because I'm stupid. Yeah, I mean, I've already spent way more time on this than I would. I think it's just something about the stream. Like, I kind of like, you know,
Is it Zen?
I guess so. I think I would have probably spent half of the amount of time on it if it was. But it's fun. The thing is, like, I don't mind spending more time on it,
Mm-hmm.
and so I find it's harder for my brain to like switch gears. Meaning, like, okay, I need to switch from ZBrush to Z remeshing to get this out of this into Maya, out of there into Mixer, so I can texture it into Unreal. Like that whole like go left, right, up, down thing. I tend to like be like, okay. On the stream, it feels less like appealing to do that.
To bounce back and forth and do all that stuff.
The wave pattern. Only if ZBrush had Maya's viewport navigation. Were you here when we were talking about this earlier? We've had this conversation, and we agree with you.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, ZBrush for environments like this is annoying as far as
it is. Yeah, it's a rough one.
But it works. It works.
Yeah, it functions. That's a ringing endorsement. It functions.
Right. So this guy needs to be remeshed. You can't use Maya's navigation. My arm hurts with a mouse. You know, Darren has always used Maya with a Wacom tablet since I've known him. And I always found that to be alien. He's left-handed and uses Maya with a tablet. But he swears by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if he has a mouse. I think he does everything with a tablet.
That's is weird to me. Just if like everything, I don't understand that one.
Okay, what am I doing? This is I should be able to capture that with 30,000 polys. How many polys are you going to be? Let's try 30. First, save.
Am I feeling any better? Thank you, though.
Captured by Lauren, photographer.
I would assume. joys of hitting F in Maya and just zooming in. Yeah.
At least that seems to be a universal hotkey.
Yeah, that one's gotten pretty common, I think. Doesn't feel like it's as hard to do that one. All right, let's get in here.
Okay. There could have been more.
Do you ever use the mixer brush in Photoshop? I use it all the time now. It's like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
It's just so getting like cleaning up images or just creating like more natural tones and like almost treating it like a wet brush. Have you ever used it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So like this is like a brush, right? And you basically can just like smear. So it kind of treats it like finger paint in a way.
Oh, cool.
And I love it. Like for a like this is obviously very pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
Get real in there. But I like to like clean it up with this. So this is maybe not the best example, but I'll show you. Well, this is why I do it a lot. So like something like here. This is like a very faceted sculpt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you come in here with the mixer brush, like I don't, you know, maybe this size, and just kind of clean it up.
Nice.
So I use this all the time for that kind of stuff, just to be like, well, I don't need to sculpt that far, actually. I can just come in here with a couple brush strokes, and it'll be set. Messing with you because I canceled class on you on Monday. Well, I'm excited to meet you on Monday then.
Yes, we had a universal decision that Josh should not come in to teach because his wife and kid are super sick, and last thing we needed was Josh getting all of the first termers sick on day one.
Yeah, I was like, you know what would be a terrible idea?
That would be bad.
Yeah, generally I feel okay. It's not so much about me. I have a little stuff in my voice, you can tell, but it's more about it not infecting everybody, not infecting like 70 people on their first day of class.
It's the fact that Josh happens to teach all the first term students, so
yeah,
that's I think we kind of had no choice on that decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, unfortunately. But yeah, looking forward to being there next week.
I like that shaft of light.
Yeah, thanks. I'm doing... The only thing I don't like about the brush or the technique I'm using is like I basically have a lot of color correction and like this light kind of going on. But if I use the mixer brush now over everything, and I don't really want it to go over everything, do the underpainting so I can keep my color correction and all that stuff separate.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn all that stuff off. And then I can kind of come in here and just do it.
Cool.
Since
All right, let's try that again. Hopefully I don't need to use guide curves for Z remesher.
Oh yeah. Usually it's pretty good. Does it give you a lot of trouble?
No, generally it's fine. It's just occasionally, you just don't get a an edge where you want it, and then it's like, generally with this kind of stuff I don't really need to, but
Yeah.
right now there's just this one little area that the polys are not going where I want them to.
Mm-hmm.
That's better.
It seems pretty good.
Yeah, I just made the little groove in there a little deeper.
Oh yeah, sometimes I have to do that too, where you just like make a little adjustment to the sculpt or just push it just for the ZBrush.
Exactly. So yeah, so like this is pretty much all I do with the geometry. So like now it's ready for mixer. So it's like it's sculpted, but like all that high frequency stuff that was in there is gone. It was just there to create undercuts and like exaggerate those a little bit just so that they pop up in the ZBrush.
Makes sense. So you're not really using it to do, I mean, you might be using it to like figure out what it could look like, but you're kind of using it more just to sculpt that detail, to just kind of get it for mixed for the ZBrush and have an idea. That makes sense.
Exactly. Are there any displacement maps on the ZBrush landscape now? I don't have any displacements in the scene now, so I'm just using Geo. Because displacements obviously require you to then tessellate the geometry, so it's going to increase your polygon count pretty quick, and I'm just trying to I'd save something like that for like later. Like once I have everything in the scene, if my frame rate is still high and there's a piece of geometry that I feel, could use some, more detail from a mixer displacement, then I might bring displacements in at that point. That's what I did on my fellowship project, where like I didn't use any, and then when I was ready to render is when I was just like, okay, my frame rate's okay, I'm about to render, so now I'll bring in some displacements on some of these things and make them look better for the things that were close to camera.
Right.
I was really nervous of using like displacements and slowing down my frame rate like when I was just starting to build out the environment. Okay, so this needs to be UV'd. Let me find that button. It's so great. I'm using it for so long and it still makes me so happy. All right, let's see. Stroke interpolate. Is that a new from the last update? They're so quick on their updates.
Yeah, I actually just updated recently, so I haven't played around too much with the newest features of ZBrush yet.
Let's see. Okay, unwrap. Let's see if you want to behave on this surface.
He says he tries to mean the environment you showed in Unreal. Sorry, phrased it wrong. He doesn't have any displacements yet, I don't think, right? In the one you currently have?
Yeah, that's what I meant. So over in Unreal and here, I do not have any displacements. So, but like every single one of these rocks that are in here are all textured in Mixer, where there is a displacement in Mixer that I could export into Unreal. But if I put a displacement on all of these things, which I would have done if I was in Maya and rendering with Redshift, because it would look better. But to do that in here would, I'm afraid, the impact it might have on my polygon count. So I think, if I eventually try to, what we were talking about earlier and figure out how to like convert megascans and mixer displacements into nanite, that'd be cool. But I don't know if it would be good protocol to like put a displacement on every single object in here, because there's obviously like a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just basically making these like, 10 to 30,000 polys each, just so that they capture the silhouette. I also didn't want to waste polygons on displacements if I didn't know what the lighting was going to be yet. Because if something was just going to be like in shadow, then maybe it would be like a waste to throw a bunch of polygons there.
You're using normal maps though, right?
Everything has a normal map, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can switch to the brighter lighting. So cool to just be able to switch the lighting by just clicking two buttons. So yeah, like those distance, like mountains back there, that's probably like 100,000 polys or something with like a normal map.
Looks great.
It's heading somewhere. So out of there. All right, so back to ZBrush. All right, so this now UV'd and there's no seam. Yay! All right, so you are ready to be exported. Something weird started last night in ZBrush. Maybe you know what it is. Like in the tool palette in the bottom on the export sub palette, usually there's buttons there, like whether it exports like quads or groups or whatever. And like my buttons are gone.
Yeah, I have them.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. I've never seen that.
Okay. I was just like, did I push something somewhere weird that would make those go away? Everything else is the same. It is the right palette.
Yeah, this is what mine looks like. So yours are gone now, and this is what mine looks like. Because you're looking for this stuff, right?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I have to restart.
Weird.
Super weird. All right, export. Data from ZBrush. What are you? You are ground left. Ground left sdiv1. Save. Replace. Now Maya. Yay, Maya navigation. Look at that. Hit that. Hit F. Get close to it. Go down low. Look left. Look right. Nothing blocks my point of view.
Yeah.
So much better. I mean, oh my God. All right.
I'll let you show off that on me.
It's just like, the fact that I can just get close to something. Never be able to do that in ZBrush. Anyway, I love ZBrush. So. All right, let's hide that. Import the new one from ZBrush.
Oh, we never played our shorts. I guess we posted the link.
Ground left sdiv1 import. There it is. So now it's in Maya. Rename it. Smooth the normals. Assign a shader so that Unreal's not going to make a new one. Assign existing material, blend 1. Soften normals. Delete history. And now it's ready to go to Unreal.
Nice.
Save. File. Export FBX. Xpurx to Unreal folder, and this is going to be ground underscore div1. There you are. Ground left sdiv1, overwrite that FBX. Go to Unreal. Select the mesh and replace it. Find it. Right click, re-import. And there it is.
You've done it.
I've done it. So it's a little dark with this lighting because it's on the left, but
Mm-hmm.
so now it
The
just
extra
needs,
little tier helps a lot, I think.
yeah. It'll look a lot better once it's actually textured, since this is just a temp.
Mm.
Okay. Boo Maya. Nuclear divide.
Boo.
Wrong with Maya. Doesn't have a pretty viewport, I'll give it that.
Doesn't have a pretty viewport now. I mean, my problems with it are more from the asset side of it. Just the viewport is obviously a big part of that, but the modeling tools have lagged. They're still not up to like things that you can do.
I mean, right now I'm really just, like Maya's not in there very much. It's just like that's where the block out started, so it's kind of like the intermediary.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I see it. Is just like it's a middle, or at least the way I use it is as like a middleman, unless I'm doing something very specific with it.
I mean, if everything could just be integrated, if I could just do all that zero sculpting just in it looking like this.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Just have ZBrush and Mixer and everything just in one program.
There's the dream right there.
One day.
That'd be awesome. Big fan of that idea.
Blender has sculpting, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I was expecting somebody to tell us about Blender and how it could do all that, but that didn't happen.
Don't encourage them. I should look through my cinema camera.
Ooh. Do you have different settings on your Cine camera, or is it just... Oh, it looks
Well,
like there's some grading or something.
It's got depth of field on it. For some reason, it's not the grading. It's the post-process
Exposure?
node for exposure. Yeah, I need to adjust the exposure when I look through this camera.
Got it.
So it's at 11. Obviously, it's not as wide of a view.
That little moving stream thing, though, adds a lot of life to it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I got lucky with that. That worked out surprisingly easily. Because the the texture is moving in U, but then by just sort of moving the UVs around a little bit, it kind of makes it look like they're moving, not just in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
So just playing with the UVs makes it look like there's a little bit of a current. Because I thought I
Yeah.
was going to have to use a flow map, but which
Yeah.
still would probably be, but
Right.
there we go. We got a Blender comment. That's pretty funny. Camera.
You said that was one of the default fires? Or have you
It
changed it up?
is. It is. So, but I'm going to need, I've got some that I played with for my fellowship short that are Niagara. So I'll end up having to swap that out. I can also see that it's the lights are being reflected and are being ray traced, but since the
The
fog is
particle.
translucent, it seems like it doesn't like to reflect things that are translucent.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if I enable ray trace for translucency, then the cascade particles will just disappear completely.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll play with some foliage just to see what happens. Do I have any in here? Yeah, 3D plants. I've got a couple. Foliage painting modes. Foliage. Drop foliage in here. I will use this one. Let's make this a little bigger.
Does Unreal need any special?
Yes, you need an RTX enabled graphics card. Look, got some plants going on in here.
There you go.
See, this is what fixes everything. Everywhere that there's a funny
Plants.
intersection between the rocks and the water,
Yeah, just put a couple
put
plants.
a plant. But yeah, if you have an RTX enabled card, then you'll get the be able to do ray tracing. So 2080, 2080s are when they added it, right? So 1080s don't have RTX, do they?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm just gonna stick these plants around just to see how they. This is the first time I'm playing with foliage and the scene and ray tracing, so I'm just curious to see how it likes it.
It looks like there's either it's like passing through. There's like it's not that it's flickering. It just feels like it's doing something.
It's got the world position offset, which is how it does the wind, and it seems like it's. I think that's how it's calculating the change in lighting, but it looks a little funny.
That's the only thing that. Otherwise, they look fine. There's just like a subtle like fading to them almost.
I'm just stoked that I'm adding foliage in here and they're being reflected, although the reflections look a little brighter than they should.
Super cool though.
plant is a little big, but
How does it compare to Maya's paint effects? That's a question you got.
well, it's very different because Paint Effects is a geometry creation engine. So Paint Effects is more like Speed Tree. You know, like Paint Effects is where you can actually like procedurally design plants and bushes. Don't use it for trees though; it's not good for trees. But oops, don't like you. So yeah, so Paint Effects is great for creating procedural bushes and plants and little things in Maya. But as far as this, I would equate this more to Mesh. The Mesh plugin for Maya allows you to do geometry paint. And so the foliage tool in Unreal is like Mesh, but Mesh is way more powerful. The foliage tool doesn't have a ton of, I mean, I shouldn't, I mean, I'm not an expert enough of Unreal to start making comments like that. I know Mesh and the foliage tool I'm still getting comfortable with. There's just so many controls in Mesh that are really, really cool. Oh, but just the fact that I'm doing this in something that's rendering in real time with ray tracing and reflections and placing the plants and seeing what they look, I mean, this is freaking rad. Like, this is the first time I'm putting plants in here, and this is probably not the plants I'll end up using for the final. I'm just experimenting. But it's just like... yeah,
being able to do it that quickly.
Oh my God, it's so cool. But yeah, the reflections are a little bright, but that's probably just a ray trace setting that I need to look for. Because you can control like how many bounces. I bet you that's what it is. Let me see. On the post-process volume, oh, I have to get out of that mode, select mode, post-process volume, rendering features, ray trace reflections, max bounces 2, 3, 1, 3. That didn't do it. Samples per pixel 2, 4. Didn't do it either. Well, I will have to figure that one out. Why are the reflections so bright? Shadows. Area shadow? No. I don't know. That was one thing that was so awesome with the fellowship. Just to have like, this isn't working, how do you fix it? And just be able to go on Slack and get an answer right away.
Be like, hey, oh, there it is, thank you.
I actually posted a question in there yesterday.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But it's a ghost town in there now. Okay, I'm just going to stop clicking once and just click drag and see. Yeah, that's still working. Camera. Get out of that mode. Camera. Focus on there. My aperture is only at 2.8. Change my aperture to 1.2. Now I need to compensate with my post-process volume. Adjust that to 7, 7.5, 7.6. How's yours going?
It's coming along. I mean, I don't have a ton more I can really do, I think, in 15 minutes, so I'm just trying to add some more focus to it in areas that feel like they would benefit from it, and just change the composition a little bit, and dial in some of this stuff just a little bit.
Hello.
Yeah, kind of a spooky temple-y vibe. It's fall now, right? We can start doing Halloween things. It's October. It's the 13th of October.
Yeah, we still haven't decorated yet.
You think you're going to this year?
I don't know. Probably. Griffin's coming over tomorrow, so.
Nice.
I'm not doing Inktober this year, unfortunately. Did it for 2 years in a row, and then this year I'm not, just because with campus reopening, there's just I can't really disappear into hermit mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like between campus and just wanting to play with Unreal, I just feel like I'd rather spend my free time this month getting better at Unreal than drawing. I was trying to be able to see like if there was like what's the equivalent for November or December, and aren't really great options. There's Qvember, which I guess is like doing things based on colors.
Okay, yeah. I'd never heard of that one. I know Sculptober.
There's Smogist. What's that?
Okay. Was it just smog?
Dragons.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a lot of dragons. I know of Sculptober. You just do sculpts in October.
There's Sculptober, Goretober, Drawtober. Like there's a lot of alternates for October, but where are all the alternates for November?
Yeah. Wait, what's normally in November?
Sculptober. So yeah, I mean that's I guess what Josh is doing.
Sort of, yeah. Ever thought about doing it? No, not really. Sounds fun though. I like the idea of it.
It's crazy.
What's your question for a image like that? What resolution do you use? 300 DPI, or is it just a regular 72? It's just a regular 72. If you're wanting to print something, having an idea of the size that you're going to print and the capability of the printer that you're going to use is really important, because that's the real goal, I guess, of what you're kind of looking for. So, and then do I prefer ZBrush or Maya for hard surface? To block it out and to explore shapes, I prefer ZBrush. But to do the actual modeling itself, I've historically liked using Maya. I do want to play more in the Z modeler and all of those features there because they're pretty cool. And they've definitely advanced a lot in the past. So I know there's more I could do there. I just haven't had the time to really play with it. Movember. I have participated in Movember. For sure. Nov Blender. Okay. Ink model sculpt texture render tober. There you go. Just the whole process every day, one at a time. Or all in one day, I don't know.
I don't know about this music.
The lo-fi jams.
File a complaint about the current track.
Your complaint has been heard.
Need to figure out what this entrance of this building is going to look like. First it was going to be a cave, but now I don't know.
Mm. I'm not sure you want to be a cave anymore.
I think it looks cool, all angular, so I think it might have it maybe be made out of like stone blocks, so it can keep that shape.
It's a cool idea.
It's kind of a cool graphic shape. Scout is whining. Because he knows.
Oh.
He knows what time it is.
6.
Amazing. Every day at this time, he's like, it's dinner time, sir.
You know. It's time.
Although I
should be let outside.
I don't think he's thinking sir in his mind. Human. My human.
Yes, that's probably right.
So why are these plants creating that weird lighting? I don't know if it's me or you, but there's definitely some kind of hiccuping going on with your stream.
I think it's me.
Like the
but
music.
I don't know what it is.
The music cuts out, but then when it comes back, it kind of like plays faster, like it's catching up.
Yeah, it's weird.
I haven't created a sequencer in here yet. See if I remember how to do a camera move.
The real question.
I love how in Unreal, by just scrolling with the middle mouse wheel while you're moving around, that you can speed up or slow down the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it so nice to just like try out camera moves. It's like if I just go in here and just be like, I'm now gonna just like do a little pan, but I can like test out the speed of the pan just by like,
Yep.
now it's gonna be faster just by changing the middle mouse button scroll.
It's pretty cool. There's a lot of really great intuitive features in there.
Blender Foundation will make Gnomon obsolete when the next release comes. Of course, because Blender has the answer to everything. Blender.
Hard to argue with that. Yeah, the music is definitely making the stream hiccups a little worse, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, because it seems like it's just keeps like stuttering the music.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think we're almost done.
Nice. Well, I'm going to go into ZBrush and sculpt the other side, since that's what I got to do next.
Looks great.
And
this is mine.
Awesome.
So I'm going to save this out and post it on Instagram.
Very cool. Yeah, I've been avoiding Instagram. I don't need to be reminded all month that I'm not doing Inktober.
There you go. Oh, awesome.
But, well, cool. Is it 6? It is.
It is
6.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. We have a super cool, what is it? A Zoom. There's a Zoom at 6:30. If you want to go to our events page right now, you can check that out. And I think you probably still RSVP or reach out to one of our people real quick, and they might be able to get you there. But they're doing a Zoom with, I think it's Amy Sharp today or somebody else, an alumni Zoom. If you're not available today, but you want to watch other ones, you can like, follow, subscribe. You can also follow our mailing list, which you can sign up on our website, and you can get notified about everything that we do. So
definitely recommend checking out Amy, because she's at Blur and doing really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you all next week at 4 p.m.
Awesome. Have a good one,
Bye.
everybody. Thanks for watching.